I don't have a baby daddy, but if I did, here's some things that I'd do to him for shits and giggles. First, I'd write a letter to the bank that he's financing his car through, saying that he's in a period of financial distress and he would like for the bank to take his car back. Hopefully, one day while he's sleeping peacefully or he's at work, they'll show up and they'll repossess his car. Next, I'd pretend to be his wife and call and have all of his utilities shut off. Bonus points if he's already behind on some of his payments, because in order to get his utilities turned back on, he'll have to pay them the money he already owes them and activation fees. If he receives any type of government benefits like health insurance or food stamps, I would call and report him for fraud. This would at least get his benefits paused while he's audited. And if I have some free time on my hands, I'll call and report him as deceased to his bank. He's gonna have such a hard time getting his bank accounts reopened. I think that's enough ideas for right now, but I'm gonna make a couple more of these videos, so if you have some, drop them in the chat.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get some help.
She does not have a dog in the fight, but because she knows that the sisterhood will praise her and she will get views, she chose this topic. Even though she does not have a dog in the fight, she knew how to grow her platform was to talk bad about men.
Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
And this is why I say men, even when they don't have kids, even when they don't wear the ridiculous lace fronts and the ridiculous lashes, they're still living in a feminist culture. Let me say we, because I am here too. We are still living in a feminist culture. And unless we intentionally remove ourselves from the poison of feminism, we are a part of it. So we might not have the traits of a feminist. We might not be a bitter baby mama. We might not be wearing the ridiculous lace fronts or coming to TikTok with all our issues. But you still run a risk when you marry in the West, because you're marrying a woman who was raised in a feminist culture. Hear me and hear me well. That's when I say save yourselves, black men. This is why when I say get to the chopper, you still have to do your due diligence. It's not just getting to the chopper and going to another country that has feminists. No. Here's another one of her videos, guys, because you know she have to milk this topic in order to get views on TikTok.
I don't have a baby daddy, but if I did, here are some more things I'd do to ruin his life just for shits and giggles. I'd send anonymous emails to the HR department of his job, letting them know that he's been doing illegal activities on company time. If this weren't enough, I'd sign him up for a subscription of porn magazines and have them sent to his job. Next, I'd call the IRS and report him for tax fraud. Even if he's not committing tax fraud, they'll at least audit him. Then I'd call his bank and report his debit card as stolen. They'll freeze his account and he won't be able to spend any money. Then I use his social security number to apply for every single credit card that I can think of, so that it tanks his credit score with a bunch of hard inquiries. Then I'd have to put his number on his church prayer list, saying that he's struggling with a sex addiction. Then I'd put his office phone number and his name on flyers around the city, saying that he's looking for discreet hookups. Just call this number. I'm still working on some more ideas, you guys, but if you think of any, definitely let me know in the comments.
Imagine if a guy was to come on and say these things.
I don't have a baby daddy.
Imagine if a guy was to come on and make content like this. This isn't even funny. I can't even, just do not argue, do not debate. I can't even say points and laugh. Just walk away. Don't even. The Bible say, it's best to be in the wilderness. She thinks this is funny. They're doing this for shits and giggles. She's like, ha ha ha, here's what I'm going to do to get stuff. She's like, ha ha ha, here's what I'm going to do to get views. Here's what I'm going to do to get people to come on my TikTok page. Ha ha ha. They think it's funny. And this is why I'm going to emphasize. Even if she's not wearing the ridiculous wigs, because look at her. Look at somebody like her. You would think that, okay, she looks like besides the weight, she looks like a woman that, yeah, you can take seriously. She's not wearing the eyelashes. She's not wearing the wigs. You know, she's not looking the part. But hear what she's saying because of the feminism. Let's take a look at her page, y'all. So it says, my lens, my life, no filter. She has her collab. She has 2.9 million likes. Here's another one of her videos. It says, revenge ideas if he cheats on you. Let's take a listen.
Tell them call his mother's Catholic church and tell them she pressured you into aborting his baby. Superglue his thing to his stomach while he's sleeping so that he wakes up to a painful surprise. Register his mistress as his emotional support animal and send her the registration card in the mail. Wait until he's asleep and zap his head in random spots with the IPL laser hair removal wand for several nights in a row. Sprinkle sugar under the mats in his car and order an ant farm off of Amazon and release the ants into his vehicle. Convince his grandmother that he's trying to dump her into a nursing home so that he can keep her social security checks. Kidnap his cat. Put sewing needles right side up in his mattress. Invite his entire family over for dinner without telling him, and then give him a Viagra and send him into the shower and tell him you have a special surprise for him when he gets out, and have him walk out butt naked into the dining room where his family's seated. And if you're feeling extra revenge level petty, sleep with his best friend. Call his mother's Catholic church and tell them,
as I said, she think it's funny. Why she don't take this much energy and go in the gym? All the thoughts she's putting into taking revenge and being spiteful, why she never put all that thoughts in the gym?
I said what I said.
No, if she come across this video and hear me say that, she's gonna say I'm a pick me, she's gonna say I'm male identify, but she can't come on with these idiotic talking points. I want to pay attention to her most viewed video. So it's 5 million views. It said, what do you mean the spiders know my daily routine? Let's listen.
That lady said spiders know your daily routine, and if you see one of them, it means you did not stick to the script. What do you mean the spiders know my daily routine? So them bitches are just in here. That lady said spiders know your daily routine.
I have no idea what she's talking about in this one. Her second most viewed video said, things I did to my ex this month.
Signed him up for the Navy. Put his address down for every single Jehovah's Witness outreach that I could find. Made a Facebook Marketplace ad with his address saying that he's giving away a free TV. Just knock, don't call. Reported his IG, Facebook, and Tinder pages. Texted him a link for a quiz to determine whether or not he's a narcissist. Sent him a glitter bomb. Sent his mom a condolences card for raising him. Put him on a Scientology mailing list. Changed his Netflix settings to Mandarin and put a parent control lock so that he can't change it. I signed him up for every single MLM webinar that I could find so they'll never leave him alone. Ordered every single free Bible that I could find on the internet and had them sent to his house. Signed him up for an anger management course with a note saying he's not ready to admit it yet. Registered him as a prison pen pal. And booked a consultation at 2 different vasectomy clinics and gave them his phone number. I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of out of ideas for this month. So if you have any more, I'm open. Signed him up for
As I said, if she had used that energy in the gym, she would have lost at least 10 pounds by now. Remember, we are not debating, we are not arguing, we are just observing. This is show and tell. I wonder how old she is. She doesn't put her age here. This is just show and tell, guys. We are just showing why we advocate for men to save yourselves, black men. And why I say men, get to the passport, protect your peace. These kind of women are what the Bible warns you about. It's best to be in the wilderness than to be with a woman who will think that this is funny. I'm trying to see if there's any indication of her age. Because to me, I would put her around like 23, 24. She looks young, but for her to think that it's funny, it's clear that she's just trying to fit in with TikTok. She's trying to fit in with the TikTok world, and she know that these kind of videos will get her views, and these kind of videos will get her validation from the sisterhood, which is sad to see, because if she was supposed to prioritize the skills of being a wife, then she could possibly find a man of value, a husband who will put her up and protect her and, take care of her, make sure that she's good so she doesn't have to be seeking attention from strangers on social media. But I mean, they don't think like that. They think very short term. She get validation from how many views she can get on her videos. That's why she have to milk that topic. That's why she have to come on and act as if she's ruining a man's life, when honestly I would not be surprised if she does not have a man.
Dump out his entire bottle of Viagra and replace it with Advil PM. They look the same. Arrange for an adult movie to be filmed at his workplace, and when they show up, make sure they inform his employer that he gave permission for the whole thing to go down. Put Gorilla Glue in all of the locks.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop watch her. Yeah, usually we'll be laughing. Usually I'll be laughing and saying, oh my God, ha ha ha, get to the chopper. But at this point, it's not even funny because it breaks my heart. As somebody who worked in the foster care system, like majority of my work experience is working with children, and it's quite obvious when you see a young child, like a preteen teenager that's trying to fit in. I can look at her and tell that she is one of them that's trying to fit in. I used to work at Boys and Girls Club when I was in high school, and then after college I volunteered at Big Brothers Big Sisters for a couple of years, and I could observe what it looks like when a teenager, especially a young lady, is trying to fit in. I can tell when it's like you're trying to fit in with the crowd, when you really don't believe what you believe, or you were raised differently, but because you're trying to fit in with the, you know, quote unquote cool kids, that you'll do certain things and you'll say certain things. And that's why to me it's not funny, because I can just see her inner child crying out for help. But, you know, after a certain age, you have to stop, make excuses. Like, after a certain age, you have to take accountability, because do you want to spend the rest of your life trying to fit in? Or do you want to just pave your own path and follow your own? Like, you know, it's sad to see, but I'm glad that she's using her platform for us to expose why there are no wifeable women in the West. Because, you know, not only her, but the 2.9 million likes that she have on her videos, the women in the comment section, and then they'll say, oh, we're just joking. But what if a man was supposed to come on and say these things? It wouldn't be funny, you know. But they use their platform to expose why men should just, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Don't even bother try. But it is your girl Chantel. Y'all go watch the next video that pop up on the screen. Just another example why it is the absolute ghetto out here. I had seen a comment when somebody was like, they remember when I was advocating for marriages and advocating for, you know, union and two-parent households and stuff. But after a while, when you realize that there are not a lot of wives out here, and these women think that these things are funny, like, after a while, it's like, dang, just choose your peace and happiness. Like, yeah, you know, in the ideal world, you want to see more two-parent households in the Black community. In the ideal world, you want to see more marriages. You want to see more, you know, kids being raised in a two-parent household and stuff. But then when you realize it's like sucking salt out a wooden spoon just to get the woman to acknowledge that they need to do work too. It's just the men. Hear me out. I'm not saying that men don't need to do work, but women need to do work too. And it's like, oh my gosh, the amount of pick me comments I've been getting just by saying, hey, woman, if we want a man of value, let's become a woman of value. Let's see what these men want and do it. Be what men want. But it's like, here, pick me, here, pick me. Then where on earth would I be advocating for men to choose wives from a group of women who don't even want to better themselves to be qualified for that? Are we seeing, y'all? Prioritize your peace and happiness. That's where I stand. Whether your peace and happiness come from a two-parent household, finding one of these creatures to be your wife. If you find peace and happiness from wifing up one of these creatures, if you find peace and happiness by saving yourself and being by yourself, if you find peace and happiness by getting on an airplane and going far, far away from a feminist culture, prioritize your peace and happiness. Whatever brings you peace and happiness. It is your girl Chantel. Y'all go watch the next video that pop up on the screen, because it's the absolute ghetto out here. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.